What's up, guys? I'm back with another video. Here we go. So, my dilemma with my phone, I just happened to figure out what it was. I wind up starting my phone over and the charge came back. I'm not sure if there was something that I pressed on the phone to make it not charge, or the charge wasn't catching for some reason. But I wind up starting the phone over, and now the phone does charge. But the good thing is I will have an extra device just in case this acts up again. So I'm just gonna have a secondary backup to this phone, so that way if the charge does occur again, where the battery doesn't charge again, then I'll just go ahead and use my secondary device. So, either way, I'll be good. But for now, the phone is doing its thing. So, I'm not going to complain right now for the most part. But welcome back, guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on your post notifications so that anytime I drop a video, you guys be the first to see it, and hit that like button as well. Just the algorithm, get the algorithm up with the video. But with that in mind, I got some real sweet treat for y'all guys today. It is definitely a concept, something in which we have not seen in a while. So let's get to the video. And so today, guys, I got this. And a lot of you probably wondering what this is. For some of you people, you probably already know what this is. So I'll just go into a little bit of the background about this car behind it and exactly what it is. And that way you can get an idea. It is definitely a concept. So, but this car here is the Lincoln Navicross. Now, when I first heard about this, I didn't even know this even existed until one day I was looking for a Lincoln Navigator online because I wanted a Lincoln Navigator online, and this popped up. So it got me curious as to wondering, what is this? And so when I looked more into it and found out that this was actually a model for sale, I said to myself, wow, I gotta have that. And I didn't know this even existed. Like, I've never even heard of a Lincoln Navicross. Never. So that was new to me. But let me give you a little bit of a background on this car. The Lincoln Navicross was a concept. It was created by Lincoln, naturally. And this was unveiled at the 2003 Detroit Auto Show. So this was another one of those concepts that I was explaining to you guys in one of my early videos about how they come up with concept cars, but they don't exactly go through with the process, and how a lot of these cars don't make it into production. These are a perfect example of what I mean when I say a lot of these concepts don't make it into production. And the Lincoln Navicross was just another example of what I was talking about. It is a four-door sedan. It is a mid-size luxury car. This vehicle, it featured elements similar to the Zephyr and the MK9 concept car. It had two chrome accent bars that was placed on the vehicle's left and right front fenders that ran the full length of the vehicle. as it did in the MK9 and Mark X concepts. So the Navicross featured center opening doors, which according to Ford gave unrestricted ingress and egress to the luxurious interior. Center opening doors also appear on the Continental concept car and the MKS concept car. So this car has rear hinged doors, okay? And in case a lot of people understand that rear hinge doors is just another way of saying suicide doors. And here it is. And you see how much wider this door opens than the rear hinge door, because it gives you access to the full interior. There is no pillar here. There's no pillar. So they did away with the pillar because it was considered, a car with coach doors. No cars with coach doors usually has the pillar. The pillar is usually taken away. And this car here, it featured Lincoln's hallmark waterfall grille with the Lincoln emblem at its center. And as I was saying, like, this car really was it was just the concept that they kind of came up with, that it really supposed to be ideally something that they wanted to bring to the forefront and just kind of give you some idea as to what Lincoln was thinking at the time when they unveiled this at the auto show back in 2003. And in the mind of Lincoln, it was designed to blend the style of a sporty sedan much with the practicality of an SUV. And that's why it sits as high as it does. When you look at it, it sits high off the ground. It really doesn't sit low like a regular car, but it sits up like an SUV. That's why the wheels are so big on it. It sits up pretty high off the ground. And it creates a unique all conditions sports sedan. And it didn't fit neatly into any existing vehicle category. So they didn't really know what to call it. So it featured a sleek coupe-like design, a raised height for some off-road capabilities, a sporty, powerful, supercharged V8 engine, and all-wheel drive, all while maintaining a luxurious interior with unique design elements like center opening rear doors on a modified Lincoln LS platform. So this is what they were aiming for. I guess in my assumption, it was supposed to be like a car, but act as an SUV with SUV capabilities. So it was something like that. That's what I'm feeling like here. Because when they say the style of a sporty sedan, but with the practicality of an SUV, it was more or less like they were trying to give you the best of both worlds. Give you a sedan with a sporty look, but also give you the capabilities of an SUV. That's why they gave you the ride height. That's why they gave you the off-road capabilities. That was part of the SUV side. But then you have the sportiness of everything, which was on the more or less on the sedan side of things. So I feel like Lincoln was aiming at giving you the best of both worlds. They wanted to give you a car and an SUV capabilities all rolled up in one. Basically, you have everything you need right here in this one vehicle. And I think that's what they were aiming for when they came out with the Navicross. Now, here are some key points about this Navicross concept. As far as the design, it was a sporty coupe-like profile with a raised ride height intended to offer a mix of sedan elegance and SUV functionality. See, it goes back to what I was saying. It was more like a car with the look, but then it had the capabilities of an SUV with the raised ride height and the off-road capabilities and stuff like that. It had a supercharged 4.2 liter V8 providing significant power. So they gave you the power too, along with the capability of using it as an SUV. The drivetrain was all-wheel with advanced traction control for diverse driving conditions. So any conditions, this car was good. Center opening rear doors for easy access. Advanced suspension with automatic self-leveling and large 20-inch alloy wheels. So back, like I said, once again, we're back to the rear hinge doors or suicide doors or coach doors, however you want to, put it. This is what they gave. And the significance is the Navicross concept explored the potential for a new type of luxury vehicle that combined elements of a sedan, coupe, and SUV, showcasing Lincoln's design direction and testing consumer response to such a hybrid concept. So this is what they were trying to aim. They were trying to aim for giving you everything all in one. And this is what it was. They wanted to give you the luxury, the luxury looks of a sedan, give it more a more sporty look and feel. But then on top of that, they wanted to give you that capabilities for that off-road SUV type deal as well, where we're not just going to aim at just giving you any type of just regular sedan. We want to give you something with SUV capabilities to be able to go off-road, to give you that ride height to where you want to take it off-road and do certain things with it, but to be able to go back onto the road and treat it as if it's a sporty sedan. They wanted to give you all of that. So that's just what they were aiming for, And another thing is, when combined with the permanent four-wheel drive plus adaptive traction control, ground clearance could be increased, so some proper off-roading could be undertaken. But when the car wasn't in the rough, the height could be dropped so the car's dynamics weren't compromised. So it did have just adjustable air suspension on this car. So it's likely that the V8 installed would have provided around 400 bhp. So the Navicross needed a pretty talented chassis to cope. The air suspension with automatic self-leveling would have helped get the power down without fuss, while the brakes were seriously beefy too. I mean, what can you say? Lincoln was trying their hand at trying to give you an all-in-one, and at the end of the day, it was just something that they really couldn't work out, just like a whole lot of other concept cars that didn't work out. You know, this is what this is what we have come to know over time about concept cars. Now, there's a small percentage of the time that we get concept cars that actually make it into production, but what they actually do is if they plan to put a car into production, a lot of the things that you've seen on the concept actually gets deleted from the actual concept and they replace it with something else, or may just delete something from that concept all along, you know. And then you have concepts that come out one way, but then when it's actually sold for production, it looks totally different from what the concept actually looked like, even in body style and everything. It totally just changes the dynamics of the concept car. But we know most times, 80% of the time, most concepts don't make it into production. You know, you have a very little margin for error when it comes to these concept cars, because you're at the end of the day trying to protect the company's pockets, because they don't want to throw out a product that's not going to give them an advantage as far as um losing money. And that's one thing that the company doesn't want to do, is lose money. So they're not going to put their money where their mouth is and actually just throw something out there. You know, strategically they're thinking. But then a lot of times we ask ourselves, what if? Just what if? You know, and when I say what if, like, what would happen? What would have happened if over half of these concept cars that were made, what if they were put into the production line? What would have happened? What would have happened if we had seen the Cadillac 16 go into production? Do you think that car would have been a big success? What would have happened if we saw the Dodge Copperhead go into production? You know, that was supposed to be a second coming of the Dodge Viper, you know, and it was a small, it was more or less like a smaller version of the Dodge Viper. Had they done that, would that have been a success? You know, there's so many questions behind a lot of these concept cars, and even the Chrysler Imperial concept. Do you think that car would have been a success if they had put that into production? You know, we don't know. And so these will be questions that will always be left unknown without answers, because we don't know what would have happened had some of these concepts made it into production. The way they drawn it up, the way they planned it out, the way it was unveiled at these car shows back then. We don't know what it would have done to the market. We don't know if these cars would have been an absolute failure, or we don't know if these cars would have been an absolute success. Everything goes off of speculation, because people are calculating the cost of what it was going to be to make these cars, or even put them into production, when it came to parts, labor, all of these things. And these companies were protecting their pockets, because they didn't want to make the worst mistake of putting out a concept that they feel was not going to be a success in the auto market. So they canned a lot of the ideas and say, no, we're not going to go with it. It's going to cost us too much money to just build one. And we're not going to make any profits off of these unless we draw the price up on the vehicle. And they felt like it wasn't going to even do that. It wasn't going to go that way. So they felt like, hell, we're just going to scrap the idea. We're just going to scrap it, and this is what we got. So all we get from most of these companies is just an idea, just a thought. We go and we literally are seeing, we're literally seeing, and they're literally giving you a broad look into the minds of some of these car companies and what they're thinking at the time they make these concept cars. And your question will always and forever will be, what if? What if? The answer is, we'll never know. We'll never know. And this Lincoln Navicross was just one of those examples as what if. What if the Lincoln Navicross actually made it in production? Would this car have been a success? We don't know. We don't know. At the time that it was unveiled at the Detroit Auto Show, would this thing have been a success if they'd have rolled this thing out onto the production floor? Just the way you see it right here in this video, with the rear hinge doors, having a 4.2 liter supercharged V8, having raised the height on the car to give it SUV capabilities, all while keeping the elegance of a sporty sedan. Do we know if this Lincoln Navicross would have even made it into production? We never know. We don't know. We don't know. But I will say this. I love the fact that I have this model, because it speaks volumes to me, and I love the fact that these diecast brands actually make concept models, for you to hold on to, because it also gives you just a grander, a close-up look into what these automobile companies were thinking at the time that they made these concept cars. I mean, let's check out the inside of it. Let's look at it. If you can see here, there you go. And you look at that. All right, let's shut this rear hinge door right here. And let's just take a look at the interior. As you can see there. Okay, I'll take this off so you can get a better look on the inside. Okay, look inside that interior there. Let's see how that looks. Okay, and then we're going to open this up. Give you a closer look at the interior. It also has... it's very practical. It has a lot of space in the back. Now the back part of this is really weird, how the back part of this opens. Well, it doesn't open on this particular model, but I am going to pull up a picture and show you exactly how it opens in the back. This thing has a really weird way of opening. It almost feel like you're opening, when you open this, it almost feel like you're opening a desk drawer, or dresser drawer when you open up the back of this. It is so weird. Look at this picture here. Look at this. And this is what it looks like when you open the back of it. It is so weird. It looks like you're opening a desk drawer. I saw this and I was like, what? So this is how you open the back? Like, it's really weird. But yeah, it opens like a desk drawer to me. And I like this feature up top. I love the how they did the sunroofs, or I don't know what they call these. I don't know if these are um, partial panoramic roofs on both sides. But it seems to extend from the driver. I mean, from the passenger in the front all the way to the passenger in the back on both sides. So, if this was a full feature, it would be a full panoramic roof. But it just looked like they took a full panoramic roof and deleted the middle totally and just gave you partial on both sides. So you only get the partial panoramic view from both sides of the roof, which I think is an awesome feature. And then we have the front here. Let's open up the hood here. And as you can see, there is that 4.2 liter charged V8 up under the hood. You can't really see it much. Okay, but as I get closer, it does get brighter. Okay, there you go. There's that 4.2 liter charged V8. It's a supercharged V8. And just look at the front of this. It reminds me of which Lincoln was that they had that this reminds me of? I think it definitely reminds me of the Lincoln MK. I want to say the MKC or the MKC, the first MKC. I think it was the first MKC. It reminds me of the first MKC. That's what the front of this reminds me of the MKC. And when you look at the grill, that's exactly what it reminds me of. So, yeah, I'm getting MKC vibes on this one. And the rear hinge doors was also, I think, is a cool added feature to it as well. And let's look at the back of it. You see it says Navicross on the back. And it says Detroit right there, where the license plate usually is. You see how the tail lights, they kind of almost meet up. It reminds me of the Lincoln Zephyr that they made back in 03. The Lincoln Zephyr, yeah, the Lincoln Zephyr that they made back in 03. I'm going to show you a picture of the Lincoln Zephyr right here. And you can see the tail lights. You see how they almost meet up. That's kind of like what this Navicross reminds me of. So let's close these up. And this brand is Motormax, as you can see right there on the bottom. And up here it says 1/24 scale Lincoln Navicross. This is the concept. This is how the bottom looks. Nothing spectacular really. But yes, Motormax is the brand for this Lincoln Navicross. You know, I gotta say this is a really nice concept. And I felt like I had to have this because I like this. I really like this. And I thought this was a cool pickup for me, for my collection. And, you know, they do have one in black. I did see one in black online. They do have one in black. I'm trying to remember if I seen any other color that this came in. I don't think there's another one. I don't think there's another one that this, another color this comes in. I think the only colors I saw thus far was this one here and the black one. And I'm going to pull up the black one right here. So this is the black one right here. So those are the only two colors I've ever seen this car in. And I don't know the rarity of these. They're pretty, it's not a whole lot of them floating around. It's really not a lot of these floating around. But you can go online, places like eBay or something like that, and you can certainly find one. And I'm not sure what they're charging for them, but I'd got this one for an absolute steal of a deal. So I felt like I needed this one. I definitely wanted to get my hands on this. I'm big on concept cars. I love concept cars. I always like to delve into the mind of these companies to see exactly what they were thinking when some of these models were even put together, assembled for the world to see, just as a thought to say, what if we were to put something together like this? What would it look like? And then they put it out there for the whole world to see. And then all of a sudden, it never manifests into a production car. It's just an idea, it's just a thought, and it goes away. But there you have it. This is my Lincoln Navicross concept car that was unveiled at the 2003 Detroit Auto Show. And with that, guys, that will be the conclusion of this video. And as I always say, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share, and turn on your post notifications that anytime I drop a video, you guys will be the first to see it. So with that being said, I'm going to hop off of here because I got some other things I need to take care of. And plus I got another video to do. So with that being said, I'm going to let y'all go. Have a good night.